clarion cry of sabotage. Some priests of Vigilus say it's the Emperor's will to test the zeal of the people of Vigilus. Whatever the truth is, the common man will never learn of it. And the only concern now is to fight for the future of Vigilus. So the Goffs, with the shields down, they'll look to attack where the fighting will be the toughest and where it'll be most killy. So they'll find that fight in the northeast fringe of Mortwald. So never trusting of the Cytec shields anyway, now that they're down. The Grand Castellan Dinos Agamentus, the brother of the planetary governor, he fortified Mortwald the old-fashioned way, so that's why the trenches have already been here for a long time for this eventuality. So the defenders of Mortwald must hold back the orcs, for Mortwald is the home of the rich aristocrats and luxury, but most important of all, the biodomes are behind the front lines, and they serve as the main food supply for the entire planet, so they cannot be allowed to fall into the hands of the orcs. So it's defended by the Cadian 29th, the Stormbreakers of Cadia, and they've got a few Vigilant Guard or Vigilus Guard in there as well for combined arms to fight back the rampaging Goffs. So this is our second game of our Vigilus campaign, so we're going to use one of the new missions out of the Vigilus book. It's Crucible of War, so it's this deployment but reversed because the Imperial Guard are here. So we've got a deployment of 12 inches there, a no man's land of 12, another deployment zone of 12, and then no man's land, and then the orc deployment of 12. So imagine that's around that way, and that's what we've got here. So the objective is the orcs have to get into the deployment zones of the Imperial Guard. So if we can get more power level into this by the end of the game, into this red zone, they will win a victory. If they get even, I think it's just one surviving unit into the main red zone at the back, they will win the game. And there's other rules where they do have some stone boys, so for instance they will not be able to land in the Imperial Guard's deployment zone, they have to land outside of that. And the orcs also have sustained assault, so what that is, if a unit is lost, they can come back on a 4+, so that even means the big god machines on a 4+, they can come back from the dead. Troops come back on a 2+, but it has to be on the board edge, but they've got pretty fast units here, so they might just come back on and still be into the fight. So it is a long way to travel, but they've got the machines to do it. They've got the hard cases out. Okay, so we're just going to go through what's in the army as it is on the board. So we've got 2 battalions for the Astra Militarum, so we've got 13 command points in total. We're spending a few command points to make this the special tank company out of the book, to get the Hammer of Sunderance relic battle cannon for that tank commander. So that's a flat 3 damage battle cannon, so that's extremely good in my book. So we'll go through what we've got. Everyone's got the key word for Cadia, just to keep it simple, because we do have the Cadian 29th Stormbreakers. We've also got the Vigilus Guard in the background in black. So we're just going to use the army-wide rule for Cadian to keep it simple. So we've got fortifications in the army first and foremost. So we've got this, and that hits on 5s against flyers just about. So las cannons galore there. The macro cannon is also in the army, so this is active. It looks devastating, it's not quite as good as you think, so we'll probably be firing the battle cannon style shot. It's like a strength 9 battle cannon, so it's not actually that grand, but there we go, it's in the army. It's a nice little piece there. So this unit is actually inside this fortification. They've got a flamer. In fact, all 3 units up front are the same. So there's a 10-man unit with a flamer and a voxcaster. So they're actually in the building, they're just represented on the top there. These are in the trench. These again are inside the building, flamer with them. And then the banner bearer, he's going to act as a lieutenant, just because I like the flags flapping in the wind there. Okay, we're going to continue on this side. So we've got the tank commander there, as we spoke about. He's got the relic battle cannon. He's got 2 heavy bolter sponsons and a las cannon in the hull. We've got Tyrox Prime here, that's got the Cyan Jackals on. Full 10-man unit, there they are. So we've got a sergeant with a plasma pistol, and we've got a flamer and a plasma gun on board. And then up top here we've got another Cadian unit. These have got the autocannon and a grenade launcher ready to fire down on that massive field of fire. And over on this side we've got another identical unit of the front ranks. They're just in the backfield. We've got the company commander there leading the green Cadians, the Stormbreakers. We've got an executioner tank here, plasma gun, sponsons, heavy bolter in the hull, and then we've got the first of the Vigilus Guard. So these have the plasma gun, plasma pistol, got a vox caster, and then there's an identical unit to that in the window there. Then we've got some support characters. We've got a Lord Commissar with a plasma pistol, we've got a tech priest and a normal priest. And then lastly we've got another autocannon squad, exactly the same as the one on the other side of the board, with a big field of fire there. And then the Warlord is going to be this guy from the Vigilus Guard, since it's his home patch. He's going to have the Cadian Warlord trait to get command points back on a 5, and he's got a power sword for himself. And last but not least for the Imperial Guard, I think I almost missed it out, we've got a Demolisher right up front, right on the doorstep, with a triple heavy flamer. So the reason why we've set up as we have, because in this mission you have to set up at least 1/3 of your power level in this deployment zone, and then the rest has to be pushed back. So I would have liked more infantry pushed up, so they just have to walk into the front lines and take those trenches by force. Okay, I'm going to go through the orcs because he's just taken the dog out for a walk, is the orc player. So it's 9 command points for the orcs. They're going to pay a few extra command points to get the Dread mob from the Vigilus book as well. So no shock attack gun, because that is devastating, because this is an assault force, so they want the big hitters. It makes no sense to have a sort of an artillery piece in it. So we've got 3 units of boys. We've got 1 in the truck, we've got 1 out in the open there. Well, not in the open because they're covered by a big mech with a custom force field, so an index choice there. We've got a pain boy with them. There's 2, well, this is pretty much a mirror setup going on here. So we've got a Death Dread here, same over there. So these have all got the claws, and then there's 6 killer cans. There's 2 with rockets, 2 with the Grodzugers, and 2 with the big shooters. And then we've got a Gorgonaut and a Mortwald with the custom force field, of course. And then there's the other unit of boys down there. I think actually the 12-man units, these boys. And then there's 2 flyers. So we've got a Blitzer bomber and a Burner bomber in the distance. So a bit of air support there for the orcs. And then in reserve, they've got 2 10-man Stormboy units ready to come in. So they'll drop down, and they've got Zagstruck with them as well. And almost forgot to mention, there's 2 units of 3 Mega Knobs, each in the belly of the beasts of the god machines there. And then the Warlord, formerly Gruck, he might not be Gruck in this campaign, he's going to be in the corner truck as well, ready to move out. Keep the boys in line, keep your squig chomping at the heels. Okay, so the orc player's back from the dog walk. So so what Warlord trait has your orc got?
Right, so the Warlord has the Killy Claw.
Okay, he's got the Killy Claw in the corner,
and he has the orc, the Goff Warlord trait, which is -1 AP, +1 attack.
Okay, so he's got the Goff Warlord trait, which for anyone who doesn't know, that's been FAQ to include an extra AP -1. So he's a souped up Warlord, and so he should be. He's a Goff Warlord. So to kick this mission off, in the book it's 1, 2, 3, the defenders go first, 4, 5, 6, the attackers go first, but it's pretty boring. We're just going to have a straight roll off because it's more exciting. Slightly. So here we go. So the Imperial Guard get a 4, the steady 4, Orcs get a 3.
Oh.
Okay, so we're just launching straight into the first turn, because in this mission there's no steal the initiative in this one. You just go first. So the Imperial Guard straight away on the move. So the Tower Rocks from over here is just sped on down there. It goes 14 inches, that's quite fast. And this Leaving Rusted Tank Commander, he just steps or rides to the right and then pivots, and he's got some better angles on his battle cannon now. So all the infantry stays still, as you can imagine, except the infantry that was originally in the street. All of them have gone forward, so to the wall there these have advanced, but they're not really going to influence these first couple of rounds because we're at a very long range here. Now the only other movement that occurred is this Executioner tank has moved its full move up to the wall there. It's only got 36-inch range, there's a long way to go still until we're in range, but this Demolisher is in range because it started on the starting line. It's moved forward just under 5, but we'll get ground in advance, and we've got range on all of the big stuff. Okay, we're going to start off the shooting phase with the Firestorm readout. So we've got a a double quad las cannon array. So this is an anti-air kind of flak gun, so we will be firing that into the air. We're going to fire at this burner bomber because it's got missiles that ignore cover, so we don't want it to kill our infantry. So here we go. We are at +1 to hit, but we're at a -1 to hit because it's a flyer. So the ballistic skill of the fortifications, both of them, is only 5, so they're not very good shots. But we'll see what happens. It's the servitors and stuff, just totally decrepit. You can't shoot or anything. So here we go. We'll get 2 hits. That's pretty good. There's a lot of las cannon shots there. The potential is deadly. So strength 9, just basic las cannon profile here. So 3s to wound. We get 1 wound, but he is within the custom force field save of the Mortwald, and that just bounces straight off. Okay, so far so good for the orcs. Okay, we're going to fire the macro cannon Aquila Strong Point to give it its full title. So that is going to fire at the Mortwald. We're going to try and get that custom force field to go away. So we're going to fire the Quake Shell. So it's heavy 2d6. So we're going to fire 7 shots. And like we said before, these are essentially battle cannon shots at strength 9. So of course it's powered by a servitor of some sort, which means it hits on 5. So we'll get 2 hits there. And it's strength 9. We need 3s to wound against your toughness 8. Get 1 wound. It's AP -2, so on a 5, no. And much like a battle cannon, as we're saying, it's D3.
Command point reroll.
Command point reroll. Okay, so it was only D3 damage in the end, but he's just trying to stay alive because he knows a lot more is coming. Okay, so here comes the D3. Just a 1, so was that worth it? I don't know. Okay, next fire we're going to do the Demolisher, so that's going to go into the Mortwald. So we are able to do our grand advance because we didn't move too far. So it's 2d3 shots from the Demolisher, and we're only getting 2 shots. We need to command point reroll, try and get more shots out of this bad boy. Oh. So here we go, hitting on 4s because it's not a tank commander. We do get 1 hit, and you need to say, need a wound on a 3. We do get a wound. Invulnerable save to the rescue. No, so it's D6 damage. It's the full 6. We've got there in the end. Okay, we've got 11 wounds to go on the Mortwald, so we're going to fire the Talrox Prime. It did move, so it's at -1. So we've got auto cannons at it first. 4s to hit. Get 3, which is pretty good, and then strength 7, so needing 5, the hard part, but it's actually pretty good. He's done better than both the Demolisher and a macro cannon. AP -1, so 4s to save on these, and it's 2 damage each. The 1 goes through, so there's another 2 damage, so 9 wounds left, and then we've got 2 missiles from it, which we miss with. Okay, last thing to shoot for the Imperial Guard, because everything else is just out of range. We've got the tank commander. We're going to do the hull las cannon at this Def Dread just here, and then the relic battle cannon is going to go at the damaged Gorgonaut. So here we go. We've got the relic battle cannon, the Hammer of Sunderance, I think it's called. Oh dear, that's a lot of shots. A lot of shots indeed. I'm going to have to get some more dice. Okay, so I've got more dice now. He did give an order to himself to reroll 1s because he had to move, so he's rerolling 1s. And he's hitting on 3s because he's a tank commander. Okay, this is pretty devastating. But wound on 4s, because it's still only strength 8 against toughness 8. And that is pretty good, I think. Probably not. A little below average. So 4 wounds there, 7 on 5s, and these are flat 3 damage. He's failed every single one, so that is ×3. That's 12 damage. It's gone. But it might come back on. We're hesitating on whether we want to fire at it again, because we might just bring it on. Oh, it does explode.
I can't re-roll it.
Oh dear. Okay, so it's absolutely devastating. This is the worst thing that could have possibly happened. It's going to be D6 mortal wounds for everyone within 9 inches. So, where do you want to start?
Start playing the back.
Okay, the plane is going to take 6 wounds. Oh my word. This is devastating. The Orc boys. Just 1. So
Dread 5.
Dread 5. Oh dear, he's still got a las cannon to take as well, this guy.
You can't. 1.
1 for the unit of cans and his friend.
Next unit of cans, 5.
Okay, so it's 5 wounds for the cans. I think that might be a can dead. Well, so he's Mortwald friend.
Yeah.
6. Oh, this is where rolling high really hurts. Okay.
So, this one?
Yep.
4.
Alright, so another 4 wounds for the Death Dread in the distance. That is such a heartbreaking scenario for the Orcs. Okay, so we've just removed the Mortwald in a big massive explosion. So 1 can did die. This Death Dread was actually out of range, so you didn't need to roll for that one after all, so that one's fresh. And then the 3 Meganobs get out, so let's see the fate of these Meganobs. They all survive, so they're okay. But there's a long way to go on foot. Let's hope that Mortwald comes back to life.
Big to be in the eye of the storm, doesn't it?
Big explosion. Sad times for the Orcs, right? So this has got 3 wounds left, and we did allocate a lance cannon towards it. So here we go, lance cannon. Hitting on a 4 because we moved. We do hit. 3 to wound. We do wound. There's no custom force field anymore, so you have to save on a 6. Doesn't get it. D6 damage. It's 3, and it's only got 3 wounds left. Let's see if this explodes. This could be crippling if it does. Oh no. Okay, so that's what you get for rolling 6s all the time. It can work out bad for you. So it's D3 mortal wounds for units within 3. So
the boys
are going to take 3.
Cans.
And the cans take 2. Right. Right, there's another smoking crater for the Orcs, unfortunately. It's the penalty for rolling 6s all the time. It can come back to haunt you. So that is the end of the Imperial Guard shooting. Mercifully, taking no prisoners and no mercy in that opening salvo. So the Orcs might be able to get those damaged, well, those destroyed units back. We'll have to see. But yeah, probably both in agreement that explosions are really, really too powerful. Considering a gun that gets shot at you does less damage than an exploding vehicle. But that is the price of rolling 6s. So the last thing for the Orcs to do this turn is a morale check for these Orcs. So they lost 4 because of these explosions, and they're okay, so they'll continue the fight. Get Orcs turn 1, and they start flooding forward. So everything's advanced here, hasn't it? Just absolutely everything. Yes. Yeah, so everyone's advanced, so no shooting for any of the back line here. But the flyers have gone forward, so this has went over the infantry in the trenches, so it's got just the right gear to take care of them with a bomb. So we'll do that in a second. And then the Blitzer bomber's gone over the demolisher tank. So again, it's a good bomb to land on that. So and then probably fire all the big shooters into the fleshier targets in the Imperial Guard's backfield. So they will have some punch here, the Orcs. But first, at the end of the moving phase, we need to resolve the sustained assault rules. So we need to see just which units come back. So any unit comes back on a 4, troops come back on a 2. So we're going to roll for the Mortwald first. And there he is, hoping to make another appearance. So here he goes. On a 4, he will return. He's not going to return. So he's going to command point reroll.
Yay!
He comes back. Alright, and then he said in advance, if that comes back, he's going to use the special stratagem from Vigilus. I'll just grab the book here. Outflanking reinforcements. So you spend 2 command points. Let's get a good shot at this. 2 command points, and you set up anywhere. It's not happening. Set up anywhere on the board edge, 6 inches away, except for the Imperial Guard's board edge. So that's it. So basically, it's like the old scout rules where you can come on 6 inches from any board edge. So actually taking that Mortwald out probably wasn't such a good idea, because now it will arrive right in the lines of the Astra Militarum. Alright, so he's placed the Mortwald with the outflanking reinforcements, and it is a massive outflank. This is absolutely catastrophic to the Imperial Guard's plans. Here he comes, 6 inches from the board edge, and I knew that stratagem existed, but I thought you would have to end up 9 inches away, but that's not the case. There's no restriction for that. He just turns up 6 inches. Doesn't matter if anything's right in front of him, so he's got a clear run up to start assaulting stuff straight away. This is absolutely terrifying. Really don't think I've got the firepower to stop him in the backfield, but we'll just have to see. So that is a major blow. We've actually helped the orcs out in a major way there, and we've still got one more unit to see if he comes on. So we've got the Death Dread, and on a 4+ he can come back on. There's no reroll for him, and he doesn't need it. So he comes on from the board edge. So there we've got the Death Dread. He's turned up on the board edge just there. So we're going to go on to bombing runs now. So we're going to start with a Blitzer Bomber. He's flown over a vehicle, so he gets 3 dice. Any 4s that he rolls are mortal wounds. So just 1 mortal wound for the Demolisher. And then he's got a Burner Bomber flew over this unit of Acadians here. So that's 1 dice for each guy in the unit. So that's 10 guys. On a 5+, it's mortal wounds. But because they're infantry, he gets a +1. So essentially, again, 4 pluses. And it's mortal wounds. Ouch. So that is 5. That is the average. So the unit's been halved. Okay, shooting phase for the orcs. We're going to have the Blitzer Bomber. Is going to fire all of its weapons into that unit down there, the one into the open. So we've got the 2 super shooters. He's going to give it some dagger, hitting on 5s. And he did give it some dagger. There's 2 extra shots there. He doesn't get any more hits with, but there's 3 shots, and it's strength 6 with a super shooter. It's going to need 2s to wound. Okay, there's 3 wounds, AP -1, so we're saving on 6s. Don't get any, so there's 3 guardsmen, drop down dead, and then a grot with a big shooter. Gets 1 hit, needs a 3, gets it, needs a 5 to save. We'll save 1, right, so we've only lost 3 guardsmen in that exchange. Alright, we're going to go on to the Burner Bomber now. So again, devastating napalm coming in. The Scorcher missiles are going at this, and then all of the guns at that unit that was taking a bit of a battering. So Scorcher missiles is D6 shots. It's going to get 3, needing 5s to hit, and gets 2. One's a dagger. Gets another hit, right? So it's like a heavy bolter. So it's strength 5, needing 3s to wound. Oh, it doesn't get any. Wow. Well, let off because that is AP -1 and it ignores cover completely. So they get. They must have asbestos skin, surviving a bomb and a missile shot. So we've got the Grot Gunner now firing the twin big shooter at the unit in the middle in the open. So it's good shots from the Grot. He gets 1 extra shot to try and hit with, which he does. So there's 5 extra shots. And he wounds with all 5, so it's not a good day to be a guardsman in the centre. And we save 3, but fail on 2, so there's another 2 gone. And then there's still the double big shooter to go. Super shooter, sorry. So, 6 shots, 5s, gets 2, one's a dagger. So just still 2 remain, but at strength 6, it's only 2s to wound for this. And he gets them both right. So AP -1, needing 6s. Nope. So there's another 2. So we've lost 4 of that volley from the flyer. That's the Vanguard dagger done. So now time for the stragglers. So of course orcs pretty much have assault weapons across the board here. So the Grot cans are going to fire the missiles. Did they advance? Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're hitting off 5s and they're going against the Demolisher. So 5s to hit. They get 1. Strength 8, needing a 4. He does get it. It's terrifying stuff at flat 3 damage. 7 on a 5. We get it, right. Demolisher holds strong. But there's a lot more where that came from. We've got some Grotzugers and a big shooter fight here. Okay, we resolved this can unit here. No damage at all coming towards the Demolisher. But now we've got the Gorgonaut. He's going to unleash all of his guns. So what's he going to fire first?
The rockets.
So he's got 2 shots from the rockets. Hitting on 6s because he advanced. Nope, didn't get any. We've got
the big shot.
The big one, so that's I think it's 18 shots these days.
No.
Okay, it is 18 shots, and here we go.
Terrific noise.
6s. Just got 2, 3 hits, but of course they are daggers. And no more, so needing better than that. It's strength 6, AP -1, and then he's got a quad big shooter to fire. Okay, here comes the big shooter, needing 6s. He gets 3, so 3 extras. No extras, right, so needing 5s on these ones. No, so the Demolisher is made of pretty strong stuff. Okay, so the Demolisher, he takes an extra wound because he had all those boys in the distance and the truck fire at him. Did clip off a bit of the panel in there. So another wound, so 2 wounds on the Demolisher after that's all said and done. But now we're over onto the big stuff here. The Mortwald will speak, and he's going to speak loudly because he's used 2 stratagems. It's cost him 4 command points to do. He's using the special custom ammo, which allows him to fire twice with these mech mob, with these war mob, dread mob, whatever it's called, from the Vigilus book. So he's going to fire twice, and he's using more data as well. So any 5s and 6s, any hits are going to create more data shots. So this is going to be absolutely deadly. Alright, so it's come time to fire the Mortwald. So he's going to do the first volley that he's going to do, because he can fire twice, remember. The big shooters are going to go downrange at the squad down there behind the wall. And then all other guns for now are going to go at the Tower Rocks Prime. So we're going to do the big shooters first and get those out of the way. So he's got lots of shots. Cool. Alright, so he's got one hit. But it is a dagger. So not best use of a stratagem so far. But it does hit in the end, so 2 hits needs 3s. And it is worth saying that we did do, I announced it off camera, but we did take cover. So we're saving on 4s with this, and we saved them both. So got off scot-free there. So it's very, very lucky. But now we won't be so charmed. We've got the devastating weaponry now coming in on the Tower Rocks. So the zap gun, whatever it's called, the
Custom Mega Zapper.
Custom Mega Zapper, it's 3d6 shots here. So here we go. How many shots are we going to get?
It's heavy D3.
Yeah, heavy 3d3. Here we go. Oh, triple 1. So just 3 shots out of it, but that's not the end of the world because you've got more dagger on it. 5s to hit, and there we go. So there's 2 hits, so he gets 2 extras because of those, and he gets an extra hit. So 3 shots, 3 hits. And strength 8, so needing 3s. He gets a single 6. So we'll have to save this on a 6 because we're armor save 3+. No, it goes through and it's damage d6. So let's see what it does. Because one shot could be enough to hurt it badly. So it's got 10 wounds, it's got 5 left after that. So a decent shot, but now we're going to have to put up with 2 rocket shots from it now. So 2 rockets. Gets 1 hit, but because of more dagger, he gets an extra attempt to hit on a 5. And then needs a 3. He gets it. This is AP -2 for a rocket. 5s to save. We do not get it. It's a flat 3 damage. So we're getting absolutely hammered here. Only got 2 wounds left on the Tower Rocks. And he's still got his belly gun to fire, which could see the job done. But he misses. Okay, not a good performance from the Mortwald in that round. So he's going to try again. So he's going to have, this time, big shooter's going to go into the Tower Rocks Prime. It's only got 2 wounds left. It's very plausible that'll go down. And then all of the big guns at the Lehman Russ Executioner in the distance there. So he's going to come under pressure now. So Mortwald with the big shooters, the quad shooters, onto the Tower Rocks, needing 5. And because this more data stratagem lasts for the whole phase, it's still in play. So there's 5 hits in there, which means 5 extra attempts with data. There's an extra 3. It's looking pretty good now. So he's going to need 5s again because it's toughness 6. Gets 3. Right. Going to save on 3s. Only got 2 wounds left, so we need to get 1 of these, or 2 of these, rather. Which we do, right, we've got 1 wound left, we're just hanging on by the skin of our ceramite. Alright, now the big guns. So the custom mega zap gun at the executioner in the distance.
3d3.
How many shots will we get? Lucky again.
2, 3, 4.
Fairly lucky. 4 shots, hitting on 5s. And he gets, here we go, he gets 2, but there's 2, hang on.
Rerolls that miss.
2 rerolls that miss, but you did roll 2 1s there, that means it's 2 wounds on yourself, because
it's
a volatile gun. So can't forget those as the Imperial Guard player. So 2 hits, needing 4s because it's strength 8 against toughness 8. He does make 1. I have to save on a 6 here, kind of bounce off the Emperor Blessed Ceramite armour. It cannot. So D6 damage, it's a 4, it's respectable. Alright, here we go, Mortwald's secondary weapons. It's the belly gun or the rockets you're going to do?
So the rockets.
Okay, so 2 rockets firing downrange. Bring it home, and he's missed. Oh no. And then the belly gun. He's rolled a 1, that's another mortal wound. So, a bit of a failure there. He stacked the odds. We thought that was just going to be a devastating alley of death there. But he's done some damage to himself. Right, that is the end of the shooting phase for the orc, so it's going to go straight on to charges. This Mortwald can charge this Lehman Russ. So to help the tank commander out, we're going to do defensive gunners for 1 command point. We're going to see if we can get it back, that command point, because we haven't got any back this game so far. Nope, doesn't get it back. But it just means we're going to be able to overwatch on 5s and 6s. This is going to be his last stand. Let's see what he can do. Right, here we go then. So the battle cannon, the relic battle cannon, is going to fire. See how many shots he's going to get. We don't have grinding advance in the assault phase, so we'll only get 1d6 to do this with. But we'll get the full complement of shots. 6 shots, can he do it? Come on. 5s. Oh, he's gotten 3. He's gotten 3. Oh, right. 4s to wound. He's got 2, and I think we might have to reroll that 1, or do a bank it on a last cannon hit. Yes, we're going to command point reroll this 1 here. Oh yes, he's wounded thrice. So it's AP -2, so he's saving on 5s. Let's see what you've got. Oh, he saves 2. It's a flat 3 damage though, so he's taken 3 wounds. That could have been really impressive. So he's taken 6 wounds so far with damaging himself in that battle cannon shot. Let's see if we can clip his wings with a 6 or a 5 from the las cannon. Oh yes. 3s to wound, come on, don't let us down now. Oh, he's let us down, only a 1. Then we've got heavy bolters to fire, so don't expect much from the heavy bolters. And we do get 2 hits, 5s to wound, which we get 1, 7 or 4. He takes another wound. Every little one helps at this point. So he's got 11 wounds left, this Mortwald. We're almost blew another 6 wounds off it, but he's saved. So it's a 6-inch charge, so he's going to need a 5 on the dice to get there.
Okay.
So here he goes. And he's made it on a big 9. So in he goes, there's no stopping him now. Okay, so he's moved in off that charge range, and now it's time to get nasty. He's going to use his smash attack, not the crush attack, so he's going to get more attacks to try and use his Goff special rule. So he's got 12 attacks hitting on 3s. Any 6s are sort of dagger, but the choppy. So there's an extra 3 he can try and hit with. So we'll just put these to the side. There's a lot of hits so far. So 3's needed, and he gets another 3. So that's 3 to add to that 8. So 11 attacks. Hit. So it's a strength 8, so he's going to need 4s to wound. And that's a bit of a let off. He's got just under the majority there. So it's 5 wounds. It's AP -2. It's pretty much a battle cannon shot, really. We're going to need to save these on 5s. Come on. We make 2. So that it's flat 2 damage, isn't it? So yes. That'll be 6 damage. I think it's worth command point re-rolling because we're in a different phase now, because the Overwatch is a different phase. So we will do that. See if we can get another save. No, missed it. Right, see if we get that command point back. No. So spent another command point, but we've taken 6 damage. Okay, tank commander fights back. Needs 6s to hit. He's missed. He couldn't run down the massive thing in front of him. Okay, that's the end of the orc phase there. Really dangerous stuff. A bit of a falter for the Mortwald in the end. Who saw that coming? I thought it was just going to be a total roll-up on that side. But we're still in the fight, and so are the orcs. So we've done morale checks already. This unit passed, even though they've been halved and they're dying in the flames. This unit only lost 1 to a morale check. We did command point re-roll it. And it's because we only need 1 guy in a squad to survive to create blocking opportunities for the victory condition. So it's best, even if it's 1 guy, try and keep him alive. So that's what we're going to do. Right, it's turn 2 for the Astra Militarum, and it's another reshuffling, basically. Nothing drastic. We've got the Scions piling out of the damaged tower rocks, so they're going to contribute the hell guns. We need to try and bring down this Mortwald that's in the lines. If we don't, it's really bad news. So the tank commander, he's peeled off the combat. He's moved his full 10, and we healed him only 1 wound. It sounds so wrong saying wounds for vehicles. 1 wound with the tech priest, and we jerry-rigged this tank, so it's healed 1 as well. So we did command point reroll to try and heal more, but we still rolled a 1. So he's frantically trying to fix up his prized machine now. The only other thing that moved is on the other side, so let's go over there. So just a bit of reshuffling for this unit here. This stayed still to use that jerry-rigging. And the Demolisher, it's gone back 10 inches. So the reason why I've done that is because we pay a command point, because we're part of the Emperor's Fist Tank Company. We can do grand advance even out of full movement for a command point, so that's what we're going to do. We need to keep that Demolisher going and in the fight, because he's got a lot on his plate. Okay, so we've going to enter the shooting phase now. We've issued our orders. Just all the units that can are going to be on rerolls. Because of the Cadian, and the reroll 1s bumps up to a full reroll. So we're going to start off with the Tower Rocks Prime here. It's going to fire into the Mortwald. So we're severely damaged, so we're hitting on 5s now. So the rockets first. No. And then the autocannons. 1 hit, needs a 5. No. Right, I think we'll go on to the flak guns now. I'm going to have 8 shots going up into the sky. We're going to try and take out this burner bomber. Don't like the cut of his jib. And there's 3 hits, so we need 3s to wound. We only get 1, so no. It's only got a save of 4. That, so it goes straight through your armor. It's D6 damage. 4. So hold the phone. He's got a custom force field save. Almost forgot about him being up there with that custom force field, and he saves it anyway. So denied again with the flak guns. Okay, so we're going to do the macro cannon. We're going to fire that at the Mortwald. So we're going to fire the really heavy shot. So it's D6 shots. We're going to get 4 shots. So we need to hit with this strength 14. We'll get 2 hits. It's strength 14, so we're needing 3s to wound. We'll get 2 wounds, right? He's got invulnerable 5s. He's failed them both. Are you tempted with the command point reroll?
No.
Right, so it's D6 damage, and you can't get less than a 3 on these. Alright, so there's 4, and that becomes a 3. So he's still not going to die off that. So I think we might just command point reroll that. Yeah, we're going to command point reroll that, because at least we can get us 3 anyway. It's a 3. It's just a waste of a command point. Let's see if we get the command point back. We do. And so that's 3, 7 wounds on the Mortwald. Right, we've got the Scions now. They're going to fire the hell guns at the Mortwald. We've got a lot of shots for the hell guns. Hit on 3s. That's pretty good. And then the hard part, we're going to need 6s to wound. But these are AP -2. So we get 3 wounds. 7 on invulnerable 5. He's filled them all. He's got 1 wound left, and we've still got a little bit more shooting to do on him from the Scions. We've got a flamer. Let's see if we can scorch him to death. We've got 2 shots, needing 6s. No. And then we've got a plasma gun and a plasma pistol. So we're going to fire a plasma pistol, not overcharged. He hits, needs a 5. Doesn't do it, and then the plasma gun will overcharge in desperation. He's hit. Needs 4s to wound. Strength 8. Both wound. This could be it. 5s to save. He goes down. Does he explode? No, the orcs haven't packed him quite so full of ammunition this time. He's down. Okay, after the big Mortwald went down, the monster machine is no longer a problem. So we've had just a lot of trivial gunfire come up. So we've had the guys in the trench, the squad inside the 2 fortifications have all fired the guns because they're just treated as if they were sort of like an open top vehicle. Automatic hits from the flamers, funnily enough, however that happens, but it happens. And grenades tossed up into the air, however that happens as well. And we've shaved it down to the last 2 wounds, and then we've fired the squad in the distance there, on top of that building, fired an autocannon and we've brought it down. It hasn't exploded, so this has crashed and burned, but no casualties. So that has gone away now. So good work from the guardsmen with just the las gunfire. And there's just a few more things to shoot now. Okay, we're going to have more trivial shots over here. We've had 2 plasma guns fire, put 2 wounds on the flyer, and then the autocannon in the corner there has hit and caused 2 wounds. So 4 wounds taken off this flyer, and now we're going to move on to the demolisher. So we're going to fire triple heavy flamer up into the sky somehow, and torch that somehow, and then the demolisher cannon is going to go at the Gorgonaut, sorry. So we'll do the triple heavy flamers somehow into the sky, and that's going to be a whopping 13 hits, automatic hits into the skies somehow.
You said that 3 times now.
Yeah, so I'm getting across me point. So 5s to wound. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds to save on AP -1, so that's 5s. 5s to save on 5s. There's 4 goes through. He's only got 4 wounds left, the bomber, or these only got 10 wounds. I think they've only got 10, so I think he's got 2 wounds left. Okay, they do have 12 wounds, so 4 left on that one. It was worth just double checking. So onto the demolisher. So we've paid that stratagem to make sure we get our grinding advance, even though we've moved the full distance because of the Emperor's tank company. So here we go, at the Gorgonaut. How many shots? 2d3, we're getting 4 shots this time. Not too shabby. We're hitting on 4s because he's just a normal tanker. And we get 2 hits, 3s to wound. We get them both right. He is within the custom force field. He's got the big mech there. He fills them both, right, so it's 2d6 damage. Oh dear. It's not good walking across no man's land for the orcs. Okay, 6 wounds left on the Gorgonaut after that. It's a really good roll, that, 6. So we're going to try and do something. We're going to try and finish it off with the Executioner turret. But we've already dedicated the heavy bolter and the stubber up into the sky. Haven't done any damage. We've still yet to do the plasma cannons into the sky, but the turret is going to try and finish off the Mortwald. We're not going to overcharge because we don't want to take any more wounds. Although we're rerolling 1s, we just don't want to put any silly wounds on ourselves because we need the tech priest to start healing everybody up. So 2d6 shots from the turret at the Gorgonaut. So we're getting 5 shots. Do we want a command reroll? I can't remember if I've used one. I don't think I have. No, I don't think I have. Right, so I'm going to reroll that. Okay, 6 plus 3 is 9. So we're hitting on 4s, but we did stay still, so we're rerolling 1s because we're Cadian. And that is 3 so far. Reroll the 1s. There's a lot of rerolls there. Try again. Very nice. Very, very nice. Strength 7, so I'm needing 5s. This is the hard part because we did not overcharge, but not too hard. There's 4 wounds. Need to save on the custom force field. And makes 2, fails 2. Right, so he's got 4 wounds left. The Gorgonaut, we're just chipping away. Right, now it's time for the plasma cannon sponsons up into the air. So how many shots are we getting? We're getting 5 in total. So we're not overcharging, remember, because we don't want to kill ourselves. 1's fell off the table. Now we're needing 5s to hit, so we've got 3 hits. 3s to wound. We get 2, it's AP -3, so it goes straight through the 4+ save. So another 2 wounds for the flyer, it's got 2 left. Right, we're just winding down the turn now. We're just firing some trivial shots. We had a bolt gun from the company commander here, fired up at the sky and clipped a wound off it. It's got 1 wound left, so I thought, well, why not fire this guy's autogun, the priest's autogun, up into the sky. Let's see if he can get lucky. He needs a 5 to hit, and he's missed. Wasn't worth it. Right, that is the end of Astra Militarum turn 2. Killed the danger units in the backfield. That's important, and took out a flyer, injured another, and we've injured the Gorgonaut, so he's on his last bracket, but surely he'll be fixed up by the big mech in no time. So no morale checks to take for the orcs. It's just vehicles going down and taking a bit of bit of a batter in there. So onto the orcs for their second attempt at a push. Okay, we're into Orcs turn 2 now, and the green tide continues to surge forward. That's the mechanised green tide. So all the cans have moved forward. They didn't run, did they? They didn't advance these cans.
No.
Or these did?
No.
No, they didn't. Okay, so cans haven't advanced. These boys have. Of course, the Death Dreads have. They don't have any guns. Makes sense to do that. And on the other side is where all of the movement occurred. Okay, so the original Meganob squad. That was originally in the belly of the first destroyed Mortwald. They've ran up here, the truck's gone over here and picked them up, so they're now mobile. There's 3 Meganobs in that squad. These Meganobs get out of the belly of that Gorkanaut because they don't want to be in there when it explodes, and they might as well get a bit more distance. This Orc boy unit moves up, but that truck, before it moved, it dispensed a unit of orcs here. So they're on the way. They've advanced because they've got the war boss with them and a pain boy. They're going to look to take the fight straight to this demolisher tank here. It's going to be pretty hard going. There's a triple heavy flamer on there for Overwatch purposes, so they're going to have to just bite down the mouthpiece and get through that. And the bomber has flown all the way over here, over the command tank, and he's here. So he's only got 1 wound left, so he's really not bothered if he flies off the table and is destroyed, because he plans on just recycling them for next turn anyway, because you can do that if you're hurt as a vehicle to a certain standard. You can automatically volunteer for them to go away, then possibly come back on from reserve. So before we go any further, we're going to do the bombing run from the bomber on the command tank. So he's got 3 dice, any 4's a mortal wound. It's a triple success, so three wounds on the tank. His last bomb was a peach. Alright, so the command tank's only got 4 wounds left now. What a bomb. So we're going to see if certain units come back on from sustained assault. So we've got the ever-living Mortwald. Will he come back on? So it's important to note, doesn't matter what he rolls here, he's got no command points left to do the outflanking stratagem. He spent them all on outflanking and then pouring his points into firing twice with more dagger there. He thought that was the winning manoeuvre there, and it could have possibly been if he didn't roll so badly. So let's see if the Mortwald wants to come back for another go. He doesn't. You've got a command point up your sleeve, have you?
I do.
Okay,
and I shall use it.
Very reason.
No.
He does not come back, so you'll have to wait till next turn to have a go. He's not out of the fight just yet. He could come back still. And then we've got the Scorcher. See if that wants to come back. It does. So it ends its move 6 inches on the board edge, wherever he puts it, but it will not fly into the battle just yet. So next turn, that'll come back. And it's pretty good for the flyers to come back, because they can just quickly get into the fight straight away, where everything else has to just trundle along. So it's onto the orc shooting phase. Now that they know who's here, the attack continues. Okay, the orcs are starting off their shooting phase with a bit of dagger. So they've had the flyer shoot, the newly arrived flyer, they've had the boys, and this unit of cans here. So they're all fired at the unit that was in the trench. Now they're all dead, so no guard left in the centre there. And then they had the big shooter from the cans fire into the scions, and have got a wound, so we need to save that. So I thought, why not do that on camera with a nice confident 4 there. So no casualties on the scions just yet. So now we've got the other unit of cans, so slightly more interesting from these. They're going to fire 2 rockets at the demolisher, is that correct?
Correct.
So 4's to hit, 1 hit.
1 dagger.
It's a dagger, yeah, so just 1 hit still. 4's, no.
It's a dud.
It's a dud. I'm going to move on to the Gorkanaut survivor. He's going to fire all of his shots right across the way into the unit behind the barricade. We're going to play hit the deck, or take cover, whatever it's called, for an extra 1 to our save and throw. And all shots going into them except the 2 rockets off the cuff at the demolisher. So these are the
Deathstorm Mega Cannon.
Deathstorm Mega Cannon. So 18 shots. And looks like a good amount of hits there. And a lot of dagger, as you can expect. So that is 5 daggers. So 5 extra shots. And then there's another bonus 2. So strength 6, so 2's to wound. gets them all. So that means that's 6, 7, 8. Right then, so we've gone to ground, so that'll, or what used to be go to ground. So we've got +1, take cover is the word. So behind cover, so 7 on 4 in the end, with the benefit of that stratagem. And that's a good save. So we've lost 3, but that could have been deadly. But we've still got to put up with the big shooter, the quad shooter. That's pretty bad, only 2 hits, but one's a dagger. It still misses. And just 1 wound, we're saving this on a 4, because it's got no AP, but we do lose a 4th Vigilant Guard in the corner there. And now for the rockets. So 2 rockets, 1 hit, no dagger. 4, he gets it, so needing to save on a 5. Don't do it, so it's a flat 3 damage, there's no need to roll. It's rolling for a Space Marine rocket there. This is an Orc rocket, flat 3 damage, so he's taken 5 wounds now, the Demolisher. Right, we had the truck fire its big shooter into the Scions and got 2 hits, 2 wounds, so we need to save these on a 4, which we do. The Scions saving strongly here. So what else have we got? Because I think we're just about running out of Orky firepower now. We've got a few big shooters on the other side.
Shooters here, got a rocket here.
Okay, so still some tasty stuff. Alright, so over here we've had the Orc Shooter Boy unit fire into the Demolisher, didn't do anything to it. Actually no, the big shooter has done a wound, so we need to save that, but the rest of the shooters didn't do anything. And we'll save that. And now we've got the
Warbus rocket.
Yep, Grux rocket. Needs a 6 to hit because he's advanced, and then he's got 2 shots from his underslung barrel because you can fire both barrels.
Indeed.
And since it's unmodified 6s, well, he does get a hit, and that's a dagger.
No good.
So no extra shots, and then he needs a 6 to wound for that shot that he got. Doesn't do it right. So what he couldn't do with his combi rockets, he's going to have to get done with his Killy Claw. Right, so last thing to shoot for the Orcs, we're going to have the Blitzer Bomber. It's going to fire, should we say, down at the Scions down here. So he's damaged, so he's hitting on 6s, but he's got a Grok Gunner, so these are going to hit on 5s. And this is a twin big shooter in which he gets 1 hit, 3s to wound. He does get a wound. So the Scions with their Carapace need to save on a 4. They're saving well, but now we've got to put up with 6 big shooter shots, but they're fired by an Orc and he's hitting on 6s because he's injured. So 1 dagger, and then the dagger misses, and then he needs to wound on a 2 with a super shooter, which he does. And then the Scions, it's AP -1, so we're saving on a 5 for these guys. Come on, let's keep this clean sheet. Oh, we'll lose 1. Alright, that's the end of the shooting phase for the Orcs, so they're going to go on to charges. So the cans are going to lead the way here. Going to have the unit of 3 cans. They're going to try and assault the Macro Cannon Bastion here. Going to need a 9 to do it. They don't do it. They don't have Iwi Go, so they can't reroll. You're going to do the second can unit?
Second can unit, 2.
They don't do it either. So fail charge for the cans. But down here it's a different story. So obviously the boys are going to charge in first against the Demolisher. And we're going to use defensive gunners for a command point. Let's see if we get it back as a Warlord trait. We do not. But we've pretty much got an infinite amount of command points because they're all set up here. So no loss. So it lasts for the whole turn. Or the whole phase. So we're going to do the heavy flamers first. See how many shots we get here. Okay, that's very, very respectable. A very high score. 14. We'll have that, thank you very much. The Orcs might regret this. 3s to wound. Oh, maybe not then. So there are 7 wounds. It's AP -1, so it goes straight through the Orc's armour, but he does have a Pain Boy there, so he's got 7 Pain Boy saves to make. Try and keep some of these Orcs in a decent shape. So 1 survives, but 6 Orcs go down. He just needs 1 survivor to block that Overwatch so Grut can get in. So he's lost 6, and then we've got the Demolisher Cannon, and we're going to get 3 shots out of that. You don't get Grand Advance in Overwatch, so not firing twice, but 3 is good enough, and we're hitting on 5, so we'll get 1 hit, and that's a wound, and the damage is 6, so he's got to make 6 Pain Boy saves for an Orc that's been mulched.
We'll get that one.
Okay, so there's a 7th Orc dead. Alright, so heavy casualties amongst the orcs, but it doesn't really matter because they're just the screen for Gruck to get in. So 3 orcs left. They're going to need a 4-inch charge. There's very little doubt they're going to make this, so off they go. Let's see what they get. So they do make it. 6 is good enough, and then Gruck is going to make a 6-inch charge, or he has to make a 6-inch charge, which he does just, but you can reroll one of those dice if you want to try and get further.
That's okay.
Okay, 6 will do, and the pain boy is going to need a 7. Okay, he's got, here we go, and you roll 1 on both dice, and he gets a whopping 10. So in they go. Okay, we're just going to go into the fight phase here, but before we do, just going to say that you can't overwatch with the guys inside the building because they are inside the building, but the fortification itself can overwatch. But he's elected that he wouldn't have done that if he knew that could overwatch. So for future reference, it doesn't make a difference because he failed his charges anyway. So it's just a bit of a backtrack there. That's why that gun hasn't fired, because he would have changed his mind if he knew that I could have shot. He doesn't want to suffer any casualties, so he doesn't have to. It's such a long charge anyway, it would be wasteful. So anyway, back on with what we're doing here. We're going to have the War Boss Gruck fight, and he's got 5 attacks. He's got the Goff Warlord trait with the Killy Claw. 5 hits, no Goff choppies in there, so no extra hits, but he probably won't need them. Wounds on 3s, and he can reroll fails. So even with those fails, it wouldn't have mattered. There's 5 true strikes on it. It's AP -4 because of the FAQ'd Goff kill trait, and with the Killy Claw, that is 4 damage each. So that is a whopping lot. So it's gonna kill the tank. I can't be able to do the math because it's just total force.
20.
So here we go. Does it explode in 6? That's what I'm bothered about. These are the maths that I want to see. It doesn't explode. Okay, so we've lost our forward tank. That's a big blow for the Imperial Guard. He's such a good tank to have with the triple flamers on. The orcs have done their dirty work. Alright, so after that goes down, the boys consolidate, and everyone consolidates onto the bastion because they can. So the bastion obviously can't fight back, can't throw bricks at it or anything. So it's worth saying, you can't lock a building down in combat, so it still can shoot, and they can still be shot at even though he's within an inch of the building. So bit of rules that make sense there. So there is a morale check to make for these boys. They lost 7 in that Overwatch, and he's going to have to fall back, and he's breaking heads roll for the War Boss. So D3 mortal wounds coming their way. It's the full 3, but you can save with your pain boy against these. So you need 3 6s. So your War Boss whacks 2 of them, and then the pain boy needles another to keep him alive. So there's 2 boys dead, but the knob with the power claw still reigns. So that is important, because now he's within an inch of the fortification. He will be able to fight even in the Cadian's turn. So he will be able to swing those claws if they're not shot away from the building. Right, we've got Astra Militarum turn 3 on our hands now, and a bit of rearranging at the back. Feel the pressure now. The orcs are so close, and we can't afford to get near into this red deployment zone this 12-inch zone that goes right across the board. This is the scoring zone for the Orcs. They just have to get more power level in there, and they've got the Storm Boys ready to come down next turn. And then if they even get one person in the backfield, then that's a win at the end of the game. So the pressure's on. We're in good defensive positions, but it's not enough to win the game at this point. So we've had jerry-rigging on this Tower Rock, so it's regained a wound, so it's got 2 left now. And then the Scions disappear back into the tank. They stay in the building, they're staying in the building. This Lehman Russ has gone to the side here, so he will be able to fire now. We're going to heal it with the Tech Priest, so we'll do that now. So he heals D3. He's healed the full 3. What a star. So he's got that back up. He used to have 4 command points, 4 wounds left. Now it is up to 7. It's good news. Alright, what else have we got? This squad up here is advanced down to the bottom floor. And then these guys in this building have all stayed put. So a bit of a reshuffle here, as we said, behind the barricade. And then the Executioner tank has went from there 10 inches back to here. And then we're going to play a command point for the Emperor's tank company to be able to still use grind and advance. So we've used a few command points around here. We've done the extra order command point. So we ordered 3 of these squads up top at the window, and this squad all going to reroll 1s. These are going to reroll 1s because they're slightly shuffled. These are on full rerolls because the Cadians. And of course the tank commander in the distance, he's going to reroll 1s for himself as well, since he was on the move. So that's all we can do for the Imperial Guard. It's time to lock and load, see how many Orcs we can gun down, because this is going to be a crucial turn. The Orcs are on their way. Okay, Cadians start firing. We've started with this unit in the window here. With full rerolls because of their order, fired into this Orc that was standing here. He's just been blown to pieces by death by 1,000 lasguns. And it's important because it's now revealed Gruck to the wider death that awaits him. So we're going to fire with this squad up here first. We've got, the only thing that's in range is this auto cannon, so we're going to see if we can put a few holes in them. And we hit once, but we're on full rerolls because of our order, because we stood still. We've hit twice. 3s to wound. We get 1 wound, and Gruck will save on a 5, which he does, just bounces off that crude armour of his. Then we've got some guns here, so we've got a plasma gun in range. Unfortunately the plasma pistols aren't. We've got 2 there. So we've got a plasma gun, we will overcharge. We're at long range. We've missed, but we can reroll because we reroll 1s for this squad, because they did move. And they've got an order, so that is a hit, and we're needing a 3 to wound him. We do wound, so it goes straight through his armour. That's 2 damage that the Pain Boy's going to have to heal for him. So he needs a double 6 here to try and come out unscathed. So he takes 2 wounds. And then we've got some smattering of las guns coming his way, so we'll just resolve that, speed things up a bit. Okay, so we'll fired the las guns at Gruck and did nothing. So we've gone on to this unit who are inside the building, firing outside of the vision slits and stuff. They've put 3 wounds on Gruck. He survived flamers and grenades. Can he do it? He has saved every single one. He's wearing some stellar armour today. Okay, so Gruck's got 4 wounds left so far. So he's survived the las guns. Will he survive the plasma executioner? So we're going to fire all the plasma regalia at him on overcharge, and we're going to fire the heavy bolter and heavy stubber down at this orc unit here. So let's just get the plasma working. So again, we've paid the command point to be able to have grind in advance, even though we moved full distance. So the plasma executioner itself, overcharged, is going to fire 7 times. And we're hitting on 4s. There we go. That's pretty good. And at strength 8, we're wounding on 3s. Oh, we've only done 2. I think we're gonna... No, we're not going to command point reroll. Still got the plasma cannons to go. So they go straight through his armour, 2 damage each. You need 4 6s on for your Pain Boy to try and come and without a scratch here. So he saved 1, but he's taken 3 wounds. He's got 1 wound left. So he's almost gone, and we've got the plasma cannons to go. So because they're a separate weapon, we'll choose not to overwatch them. Not to overcharge them. No, actually we will, because we definitely want to... No, there's no point, so here we go. Plasma cannons. So we're firing 2 shots out of each. 4's to hit. We only get 1 hit. And 3 to wound at strength 7. We do wound him, so it's only 1 wound. Pain Boy needs to save him on 6. He's gone. He only had 1 wound left after all that plasma. So he's dead. That is the Warlord, but there's no point for it because there's no secondary points in this mission. It's all about just gaining ground. So he's lost a good character there, but it's not the end of the world by a long shot. Right, I fired the rest of the shots, the heavy stubber and the heavy bolter at the orcs here, and the saves on the custom force field. So still some fight in the orcs. Right, we're going to do big shot cannon at the Death Dread here. So it's the big version, the full blown shell. So getting 4 shots out of this one, and 5's to hit. Oh, we've got 3 hits. That's terrible. Terrible news. Right, so his toughness, well, it's strength 14, so we're going to wound on 2s against him. And we've wounded twice. He has got the custom force field. He's going to need some 5s here. He makes 1, fails 1, so he's not going to perish in the blast here, but we have done 5 wounds to him. So he's got 3 left. Right, so far so good for the Astra Militarum, and it's worth noting over here, we forgot to mention in the last turn, the big mech healed 3 wounds on this Gorgonaut, so it's slowly getting back up to strength. It's got 7 wounds left, so it will be back in the fight before you know it. Okay, we're on to more fortification weapons. Going to do the double quad gun, quad las cannon up at the flyer in the distance there. Normally we would have to fire at the nearest, but because it's occupied we can somewhat take control of the servitor firing it. So we're going to choose that flyer in the distance, and we're needing 5s to hit. Oh, that's pretty good this round. Got a lot of hits there. The servitors are doing well. And 3s to wound, of which we get 4. And there's no custom force field saves for that flyer now. So it's just straight D6 each time. So that the defences are coming to life now. So that's pretty much almost dead. We haven't killed it yet. Should we just do a command point reroll? Yes, I think we will. So we'll use our command point reroll that we're saving for the tank commander for this. See if we can get higher than a 2. We'll get worse. Oh well. So it's taken 9 wounds. So not good. Alright, so 3 wounds remaining on the burner bomber. That was a bit of a disaster there. So we're going to move on to the battle tank here. So the battle tank is going to fire down at these 3 cans here. So we're going to do the deadliest gun known to man, the Hammer of Sunderance relic. We're going to get 5 shots. See, we're going to use that command point reroll to get better amount of hits. So we did do an order for ourselves to reroll 1s, so we're hitting on 3s, reroll 1s. Oh no, yes, we've got 7 wounds left because we did clag on an extra 3. So we are on full ballistic skill still, thankfully. So there's 3, 4 hits, wounding on 3s, and we get 2. 7 on 5s against the cans. Makes 1, fails 1, so it's a flat 3 damage, and one of them's already taken 2. Actually, he's got 2 wounds left, this can, so you've lost a can. Let's see if he explodes on a 6. No, so just 1 can drops down, shuts down in the trench. Alright, I've got the last cannon from the hull at the cans. We've missed, and then the heavy bolters at the cans. Reroll 1s because of the tank commander's rule for orders. So we get 4 hits. We're needing 4s to wound against the cans, which we get 1. So we need to save on a 4 on one of these cans. Saves. So that's putting up a pretty good fight. So that's all from the tank commander. I think we'll fire the Tower Rocks at them as well. So we're hitting on 5s of the Tower Rocks because he's still in poor shape. So the autocannon gets a hit, doesn't wound, and then the missiles gets 1 hit, needs a 3, and fails on that front. Okay, that is the end of the shooting phase for the Astra Militarum, and the only combats to do is this Pain Boy on this Bastion because he can fight. So he's pretty good for a Pain Boy. He's got 4 attacks, and he's with a Strength 10 Power Claw. So he needs a hit on 4s, which is the hard part. Actually, no, he doesn't. sorry, he automatically hits, but I think you'd still roll to see if you got any Goff hits. So there's one extra hit that's going to auto hit. So there's 5, well, that auto hits, so there's 5 auto hits on the building. So you're needing force to wound, because you just get auto hits against a building. So you got 5 dice there. And he's strength 10, deceivingly. So in this building is toughness 10, so force to wound. Could do a bit of damage here. So there's 2 wounds, which we can save on 6s, because that's our save against an AP3 weapon. No, we'll fill both of them, so that's 2d3 damage. So it's a 3 and a 2. That's 5 wounds taken off the fortification. So it's his first 5 wounds. Will it start to crumble now? Okay, so that is the end of the turn now. No morale checks to take. This unit, I forgot to say, this unit did fire out of the fortification at this orc unit and didn't do anything, so that's why it wasn't documented. So the orcs are on the goal line here. They're ready to plunge into that area that they need to score. The game is winding down and the Storm Boys are still in hand. This could go well for the orcs. So the Imperial Guard, like we said at the start, are in good defensive positions, but they need to take the fight to the orcs in the next 2 turns to see this game through. So it's Goff's turn 3 now, and every time we think that it's looking good for the Astra Militarum, the skies turn black, and in come the Storm Boys. So they've landed over this side, so there's 2 units of 10, Zagstrucks in the middle. They can't, if you think of why they didn't land elsewhere, or behind enemy lines, they can't land in the Imperium's deployment zone, so they have to be pushed back a little bit. So they've landed right here. 9 inches away from the bastion, because it's occupied, we're going to say that pushes the squad back. And the things we'll have to roll for still have to come on, but this is what's moved before we do that. The cans have just walked forward. There's 2 units of 2 cans there. They're going to try and put the hurt on the bastion. It's only got, well, it's got 25 wounds left, but because you can automatically hit against it, this could be devastating for the building, because there's a Death Dread going in there and he's got a lot of attacks. And then you can just see at the back there's 3 mega knobs. So they've got out of the truck there, they've moved forward, and they've only got a short charge to make on the bastion. And then given the here we go rule, it's pretty much a sure thing. Still got the pain boy in there. And then the truck picked up the other unit of mega knobs, and they're on their way to come over here and start crumping stuff. So the orcs know what they're doing. They're mobilising. They've lost a fair share of vehicles, but it really doesn't seem to matter to them all that much. This Death Dread's making his way up, and then the Gorgonaut is going to supply some firepower, because he's been healed up and healed up and healed up, and he's probably going to be back to normal anytime soon. So let's see what comes back. So we've got a Mortwald to come back, we've got a Blitzer Bomber to come back, we've got a War Boss to come back, and a troops unit.
Yeah.
So what are you rolling for first?
First of all, though, I need to get the healing.
Okay, so he's going to heal these Mortwald. He's Gorgonaut. He's going to heal him a full 3. So he had 7 wounds left. Now he's got 10. So he's almost back to full strength. So the Mortwald comes back on a 4. He's back.
He's back.
Right, the War Boss. He does not come back. So it was a different War Boss, that's that. So the
squad.
Right, yeah, because it's an Orc Boy unit, these come back on a 2, not a 4, because the infantry, the troop unit. So they're back, that 10-man unit. And did you do the Blitzer Bomber? Or have we just had a...
No.
Okay, so let's see if the Blitzer Bomber comes back. It does, so it is back. Okay, forget about the Blitzer Bomber, that flew off the board in this turn, so it doesn't come back until next turn, because it was in the corner here, only had 1 wound left anyway, flew off the board, killed itself, just so it can try and come back in. So reinforcements are immediate for the orcs, and the pressure is on the Imperium. It's how can you possibly shift this many orcs out of the deployment zone? Because remember, all they have to do is get as many units as they can in this 12-inch wedge here, and the orcs might see the day one. The Imperium have got a lot of work to do to chew through all of these greenskins. Okay, the orcs are opening the data phase with the Gorkanaut. He's fired all of his shots except the rockets down at this unit here. We've elected to hit the dirt again to +1 or cover save, and he'll be firing the rockets at the bastion, which we're going to resolve in a second. But the Deathstorm Mega Shooter does 3 wounds on this unit, so we're saving on 5s because we're on the wall and with that stratagem. And we've lost 2 guys, and then the big shooters get 2 wounds as well, but we're saving on 4s. We do save, so we've lost 2 out of this unit. We're just going down ever so slowly over here, and then we've got 2 rockets at the bastion because he can still fire at it. He's hit once, and he does wound. He needed a 5 to do that, and he got it. So 7 on 5 with this. We don't get it. There's another 3 wounds just shaved off. So there's 22 wounds left on the bastion now. This could be deadly. We've got 2 more rockets for the cans here, so they're hitting on 4s because they've grot's inside. Don't tell the orcs though. There's 2 daggers. It's all coming in. So there's 4 hits. So 5s to wound because this is a toughness 10 bunker. He gets 2. Right, we're going to need to save on 5s. We'll get 1, fail 1. So there's another flat 3. So we are down to 19 wounds now. This is getting pretty scary. Right, next up we had this unit that fired all of the small arms fire into the bastion, and then the big shooter, because it has the range, at the unit that's hit the deck. So 2 wounds from the big shooter on that squad just over there, so we're needing to save on 4s because of that former stratagem. We've lost another guy, so we're just down to special weapons and Voxcaster there. Only 3 guys left in that unit, and then he did do 2 just shooters at the building, got 2 wounds, so we're going to need to save on 3s. Fail 1. Right, so we're down to 18 wounds left on the building. Right, the orcs are firing on this side now, so we've had a few shots here and there. So we've had the Storm Boys firing into the building, didn't do anything. We've had this unit fired small arms into the building and big shooter into the Tower Rock. So 1 wound from the small arms fire from that orc unit. We do save, and then the big shooter fired at the Tower Rock, so we need to save on 3. Which we do, so still 2 wounds remaining on the Tower Rocks. That shot at the Tower Rocks and didn't do anything. So we've got the Scorcher jet, the burner bomber, as its proper name. Is that going to fire all of its shots into the Tower Rocks, or are you going to go for the building again?
We'll fire at the Tower Rocks with the Scorcher missiles, and that is sort of D6.
So D6 shots, and it's basically the profile of a heavy bolter from that.
That's the stuff going in the building.
Okay, so 3 shots from the Scorcher. 6s to hit because it's so damaged off the las cannon arrays firing at it.
So none.
So none, and then you said the shooters at the building.
Yeah.
Right, so you got 6 shots from a super shooter, and it's hitting on 6s because it's the orc pilot who's shooting it, and in his damaged state, he can't quite. Well, he can. What am I talking about? He's got 4 hits.
4 daggers?
4 daggers is what that means. And he gets another 2 hits, so there's 6 hits for him. So he needs strength, toughness 10 this building. So he will need it's strength 6. So you're actually needing 5s. But it's not double the strength. So off you go, 5s. And he gets 2, so needing 4s to save on the bastion. So we'll fail 1, so that's the first wound on this fortification. Right, he's got the double big shooter now, and that's firing at the building. That's got the grot firing it, so off he goes. And he's hitting on 5s because he's a grot, but he's got 2 daggers with no further hits. So he needs 6s because strength 5 against toughness 10 is going to have that required. So he hasn't done it. The grot needs to put more punch in these big shooters. Right, I've had the cans speak up now, so the ones with the Grotzuger and the big shooter. So the Grotzuger does really well, targets the building, gets 3 wounds, so 7 3s. Okay, there's another wound, so only 2 wounds on this structure so far. And he did fire a big shooter off one of those cans and has caused a wound on the Taurox Prime, which we save. So the Taurox Prime is still holding strong there, it's just hiding, trying to bide its time, wind this game down. But that isn't it, because with the return of the Mortwald over here, he is in range with his big custom Mega Zapper of the fortification here. So he's going to let loose with that.
3d3.
Yeah. And he's getting the full complement of shots there. So that's 9 shots pumped out from him. Kill him once, shame on me. Kill him twice. What happens if we kill him a third time? So here we go. 9 shots hitting on 5s. And he gets only 2 in the end, but one's a dagger, which he creates another hit with. So he's got 3 hits there. There's your... I'll just clean up these. So strength 8, you're going to need 5 still, because it is toughness 10. No, didn't do it in the end. But he does have a quad big shooter. Let's see how this performs against the fortification. Okay, that is the end of the orc shooting, and we're ready to move on to assault. So it's going to be this unit first to assault. We can overwatch with the last cannon array. We've got 8 shots from that, and we'll hit once. Needs a 2. Okay, we've killed a storm boy, but that's no big deal to the storm boys. So it's a 9-inch charge to be made, and they can reroll 1 or both dice of their choosing. Yeah. Okay, they're definitely going to keep the 6. They're going to reroll that 1. Oh, it's a whopping 12. In they go. Okay, so next up would have been Zagstruck, but we forgot to fire his missile. So he's going to do that now because it's easily forgotten. He never used to have it. So he's missed anyway. Typical orc. But as well, he was going to charge, but now he's not, because we've just done a quick read of the rules, and you can't, because you can't lock buildings down, they're still free to fire even if there's a model within an inch. So
it can fire and fire.
So it can fire as many units that want to go in on it. So Zagstruck doesn't really fancy his chances against 8 last cannons.
Yeah.
Overwatching.
He's looking at that.
What a chicken. So the other unit's going to go in.
Here you go.
So they get a 5 and a 2. He's probably going to want to re-roll that. Here we go, and they're in on a big 10. Okay, so we killed a model with the last cannon array in the Overwatch on their way in, and that's how they're going in. But what we're going to do is we're just still going to charge with Zagstruck. We're not going to Overwatch him because it's just sad having Zagstruck have to stay out of the fight. So just going to let him go in without Overwatch because it's the way it should be. If he can make his charge range. So he hasn't anyway. So he's going to re-roll that with Here We Go. And he still hasn't made it, so it just wasn't meant to be. But luckily he strung his models out where he is within 6 of Zagstruck. So he will have fearless Storm Boys, but he's going to miss him in combat. Okay, so we've got this big mass of machines ready to go in on the Aquila strong point. There's about 5 units there that will be going in, but I'm not happy with the way you could just overwatch every single unit there with the macro cannon. It just doesn't feel right. So we're just going to treat it as if it was a normal unit in Overwatch. So as soon as one thing gets overwatched, if it tags it in combat, then it's tagged. But then we'll revert back to normal fortification rules in the shooting phase. So we can just fire at anything. Just feels weird that being able to just go and shoot everything inside. Quick gun.
Says big bang.
Quick draw Aquila strong point is not going to happen in this game. So we will do our shots on this cannon unit here because that's the one that's going to assault first. So we're going to do the big deal shots and we're going to get 3. So I mean, after all this conversation, I'll probably not even hit anyway. So 6s, no, we haven't hit. So the cannons will go in. It's a pretty short charge. And they're going to go in 5. Just so to speed this thing up, we're just going to roll for everybody and we'll see how it ends up. Okay, so we'll come around here for a better look. So we've got the cannon units in there, the Def Dread's gone in, and so have the Mega Nobs with the kill swords. So they'll probably make short work of this Bastion. They're probably just going to carve a hole straight through it. So just as a reminder, it's got 18 wounds left, so I don't even think a knight could stand up against this, let alone a building, because these are automatic hits on the building. So we're going to start off with the Dread first. And they are automatic hits, but we're going to roll anyway to see if we can get some dagger but in combat. Choppy, we'll call it. The Goff special rule. So 4 attacks with the Dread Swords, the Dread Claws, sorry. So you will get an extra attack. So 5 automatic hits.
Yeah,
so you didn't need to roll. So 5 automatic hits at strength 10, so 4's to wound. There's all that's required. He gets a full, well, it doesn't get full, but he gets 3, which is good enough. AP -3, needing 6s to save, and the flat 3 damage. Alright, so there's 3, 6, 9 damage clipped off. We have 9 wounds left. That was not even the end of his attacks either. 9 wounds left. He's got an extra 2 attacks with these dread saws. He doesn't get any choppy Goff special rule. So 2 automatic hits, strength 9. He's going to need 5s. He gets 1, and we're going to need to save on a 5. We do, so we'll block that. Now it is time for the kill saws from the Mega Knobs. Right, the kill saws are ready to blaze away now. So he's got loads of attacks. We're just looking for 6s here because they're automatic hits. Okay, so he's got an extra 4 dice to add to his hand there, and these are all at strength 10. So they're wounded on 4, so he does get 1 wound with the extra attacks, and then just roll your original hits, automatic hits. And you need 4s to wound. Okay, so that's a mammoth amount. So the AP -4, we're not going to get a save. I'm not even going to count how many that is. That's just that's all those wounds times 2 with no save. And we only had 9 wounds left. So the building is absolutely shattered. Let's see if it explodes if they hit the ammo cache. If it explodes, it's going to be massive.
It's massive.
Oh shit. Right, it's going to be a 2d6 explosion and d6 mortal wounds for everyone involved. So the explosion will be 7 inches around that huge footprint. We're just going to resolve this and we'll come back
next week.
Okay, so we're going to go around doing the d6 mortal wounds here. It's going to be savage. So we'll start over here. It's a 7-inch radius, don't forget. So this unit of cans here on the far side, going to take 5 mortal wounds for them, so we'll keep a tally. This unit of cans going to take 6. So there's definitely a can gone there. The Death Dread. Oh, he takes 6. I think that might be the end of him. The Mega Knobs there, they take 2 wounds. We have got a command point reroll of our slaves, which we could have used for that explosion, but we've got to end with a bang here. You know what? We'll command reroll that, try and get more. 5. That's going to be devastation on them. The Pain Boy, you can actually save those, in fact. So let's see if he saves any. Go on, give those a roll. 6s. No, the full 5 stand. Just remove them. And then the Pain Boy himself. He's going to take 2, so you can save them. No, he's going to take 2 wounds. Alright, and that's at the end. We've got the truck. Takes 2 mortal wounds. And any more for any more. 7 inches. Oh, we've got this unit behind the screen here. Just shy of the Commissar. You're going to take 3. That's the squad wiped. That's devastating. Alright, we're going to have to get the radius on the other side. See who's in that blast. Alright, so there's no one over there who's in the blast radius, but interesting things. So with 5 wounds on these cans, one of these cans is dead, so he's elected to take the big shooter, which has killed the can because of those 5 mortal wounds. So with that gun, he can blow up himself, so this might cause a chain reaction. He doesn't explode. One of these cans has died and passed a wound onto the other one, so on a 6 he'll explode. Go on your roll. Doesn't explode, so no chain reactions so far. So that is it. No more explosions from the cans. Okay, so there's all the casualties suffered now for the orcs, and the occupants have had to disembark here. So we've lost 3 in the collapse of that structure, and it's now a raging inferno. So they're still in some sort of fighting shape, and now we're going to come over here. We're going to have all the Storm Boys have a go on this redoubt. Okay, so we've had the Storm Boys fight to speed up things up a bit. They've had 7, both units have fought. They've put 7 wounds of normal blows onto this the redoubt, so we need to save these on 3s. And 2 wounds go through, so this has now taken 4 wounds so far. And then there was a whopping 6 Power Claw attacks that hit and wounded. So we have to save these on 6s. Oh, filled them all. So that is going to be D3 each if you want to roll for that. Just do it. Okay, so we'll sort through this. There's 3 There's 4, 5, 6, and there's 5 there. So 11 wounds taken on the fortification just through power fists alone. So that is the end of the fight phase. So there's only 5 wounds left on this readout now. So in really bad shape for the Imperium. And this at the end of the round, there's just a few morale checks to make. So the Nobs should be fine. They only lost 1. That unit over there for the Cadians, they lost 3 this round. So 3 plus 2 is okay. And the Cans, they can actually run away because they lost 1 each. So start with the one further away. So on a 6, he'll run away. No, and then the second one, don't want to see a 6, he will run away. Scaredy Cans. Okay, it's Astra Militarum turn 4, and we're going to have to send units forward to choke up the second defensive line to make sure we've got enough power points in there to at least contest the Orcs. Again, the rules for the mission are you've got to get more power level than your opponent in the red zone here, and then if the Orcs even just get 1 unit in the rear red zone, they will win. So we've got to send units forward now and try and deny them this victory in the second deployment zone. So off they've gone the Scions. Have got out the Tower Orcs. These are the survivors from the building. We're going to have to take the fight to the Orcs now and push back this Stormboy attack. These have come out of the building, out of the bottom of the building, and these have come forward. So the tank has stayed still. He's issued an order to himself to reroll 1s. That's not really going to make a difference since he's a Cadian anyway, but he likes shouting at his tank crew. And orders for the infantry, he's a lieutenant, don't forget. He's ordered first rank fire on this unit, and this unit will get advanced, so we'll move those again in just a bit. And on this side, this tank's just shuffled to the side a bit just to get a better angle on those mega knobs just in the distance there. And this unit, they've come down from there, they've advanced 6 inches, got the full 12, and they've been able to get to the wall, I think. Okay, I feel like this is probably the last stand of the Imperial Guard. If we do well, we may have a chance here, so we're going to fire off the quad las cannons into the flyer, and we're going to try and get rid of as many storm boys here as we can with these 2 units, the unit on board the fortification. We'll see what's left standing after these volleys. Alright, it's getting desperate. We've fired up into the air with the quad las cannons at this flyer, and we have killed it. We only had 3 wounds left. It was a pretty easy job. In the end, we've got a lot of hits there, so that's gone. And then our second victim was this unit of Storm Boys, but it was not easy. We had this squad fire in with flamers, we had the Scions fire in, there was just some hangers on, and in the end we've had to fire the sponsons off the Lehman Russ at them, and then we dedicated the main guns at the Mortwald downrange, because we can't allow that to get back into the fight yet again. So we already fired off the las cannon and it missed, but we're going to do the battle cannon relic at the Mortwald now, so see if we can get better. Only 4. We're going to command point reroll one of those, in fact, see if we can get higher. 5, it's better. And needing 3s, so we can reroll 1s because we're Cadian. And we're needing 4s against this thing, of which we get 3, so you need to save on 5s. Oh, I filled them all, so it's D3 each. See if we can get lucky here. So there's 3 and another 3, so 6 wounds on the Mortwald. It's not going to be enough to slow it down even. Alright, then we shot the guys on board this bastion. Only killed a handful of orcs, I think, with 3 in the end. They're not going to fill morale because they're within 6 of Zagstruck. They will automatically pass, so they're just hanging on this fortification. Will probably mean this fortification's doom in the Imperial Guard's turn, since it's already taken 15 wounds. It's got 5 left. And we're struggling to whip up some firepower now. Forgot to mention as well, earlier on we jerry-rigged the Tower Rocks again, so that's up to 3 wounds. Still not enough to put it on a high ballistic skill to hit the truck. It missed with every single shot. And then we also fixed 3 wounds on the tank commander there as well with the Tech Priest. And up top, we fired down at the Meganobs again and didn't get anything. The Orcs have proven resilient in this turn, so we're going to have to lean on the Plasma Executioner. We wanted to fire at the Mortwald, at the Gottenaut, and try and whittle it down a little bit, because it's back on 10 wounds. We need to slow that down a little bit so it doesn't encroach into the deployment zone, but we're going to have to dedicate our shots into the stuff that we can see here, because if not, they'll disappear around the other side. We'll never see them again, and they'll start scoring for the Orcs. So let's see what he can do. Okay, so we've just got the easy shots out of the way first. We've done the stubber and the heavy bolter at this Orc unit, and we're doing the plasma cannons on the Orc knobs here. We are overcharging, and we're going to do the executioner cannon at the Death Dread. We're going to try and see the last 2 wounds off that. So we're not going to overcharge the plasma turret cannon. Just not going to do it. We don't want to hurt ourselves. And he's only on his last legs anyway. So there's 7 attacks we're going to get a hit with. So 4's to hit. Reroll 1s because we're Cadian. Okay. And we need strength 7 versus toughness 7. So actually we need 4s. This might be a mistake. We get 3. Right, so you have to save those 3 on 6s. Two go through, so he has succumbed. Let's see if he explodes. He doesn't explode, so no more dangerous explosions. Okay, plasma cannon sponsors now overcharging at the mega knobs, so here we go. What have we got? 3 and 1 is 4 shots, so we just need to hit on 4s. We get real 1s because we're stood still, because we're Cadians. We get 3 hits. Right, it's 2 to wound because we're overcharged. They all wound, so mega knobs are going to save on 5. Get 1 save, but 2 go through. So this one already took a wound, so he's dead. And then 2 wounds on the other mega knob, which means he's got 1 wound left, this guy. But in fact, you've still got your pain boy alive, so you can still save. So 2 wounds on the... We'll clear this down. So 2 wounds on the first guy. Doesn't save, and then the second guy who's took the 2 wounds does save 1, so he's back up to 2 wounds remaining on that guy. So that is the end of Astra Militarum turn 4 shooting. We've already moved straight into combat here. We've had the attacks from the Storm Boys, and we'll just need the saves from the Bastion. So there's been 2 wounds put on the Bastion from the choppers in the unit, and we've taken 2 wounds off the basic choppers. Oh no, so we've only got 3 wounds left. And this could be terminal because there are 2 power fist blows landed on the bunker. Need to save these on 6s. Oh, it's a double one. It's the other end of the spectrum. Okay, 2d3 damage against this. Right, he's got a 3 and a 1. That'll do it. The Bastion's gone down. I'm gonna have to see if this explodes. Please no. It doesn't explode, not this one. He hasn't hit the ammo dump. So this goes down, and the boys get out. So we've got only 7 left. We lost 3 in the blast there, and then the Orcs pile in over the top. So that may be the death knell. We've lost both bunkers now, and we are reeling. We're trying to get bodies into the area, but this is where the Orcs want you, just up close and personal. And I really am dreading this next Orc turn. Right, Orcs turn 4, they've already made the movements, and we feel like this is probably the end for the Imperial Guard. The Orcs have healed 3 wounds on this Gorgonaut, and he just strides forward that full 10 inches. Let's see, so that's 12 inches. They've already got this squad inside that zone here, and he's just about to get in there as well. So the mech boy, he's ran as well. He's given the benefit of the custom force field to all 3 of these units that are within range, and then the units that we just couldn't kill the last turn, they've done what we thought they would do, and they've hidden around the side of the building within that deployment zone that we were dreading. So they've got away with it, and they've just hidden in the shadows. And on this side, the Orcs just pile on the pressure, so the surviving killer can, he's coming round the side. He's just going to get his driller straight through some Imperial loyalist. This squad's come out of the trench, they've ran forward. Assault weapons them all, and this one's got Scorcher, remember, so he can just fire that heavy flamer into the trench works and just toast those guards, something rotten. These Meganobs, they've gotten out of the truck and gone forward. They'll probably be assaulting the Scions, I imagine. And the truck swung around the side here to lend itself into any charges, and the Storm Boys have just got on top of this structure. The success is nigh. They're imposing themselves on these poor guardsmen, and there's Zagstruck just ready to pounce. And then in the back, we already did the reserve rolls for the lost units. This is strode forward 10 inches, and then the units come back with the Storm Boys 10-man unit and the Scorcher. The Burner Bomber is back for the 1100th time. So I think we're just going to summarise the shooting phase here and just see what's left standing for the Imperial Guard, because this is going to be ugly. And it's okay, so the Orcs have shot on this side and heavy casualties all around for the Imperium. This unit in the trench just totally wiped out by the Scorcher and the Jet in the background. And then the Scions have actually done pretty well, though they used the stratagem to go to ground, but came under fire from none other than the ever-living Mortwald, just taking chunks out of them. 4 die in the end. They did well, but how long can they last for? They're staring down 3 Meganobs with kill saws. Not a good look. And then this unit was surprisingly demolished by just the shooters, or the sluggers from the Storm Boys, and a few grenades thrown in there for good measure in that closed environment. There's only 3 left now, at the mercy of the Storm Boys. Okay, it looks like the same thing over here for the Orcs. They're going to try and batter this unit to death behind the Aegis defense line, and probably some rocket shots going towards the tank. Let's see what happens. Right, I've done all the shooting, so the boys in the trench don't do anything to the guard behind the wall, but the Gorgonaut does. So he fires his rockets at the tank, and they fly off into the distance. They don't hit. So, but the other weapons is a different story. There's been 5 hits and wounds from the Deathstorm Mega Shooter at the guys behind the fence. So let's see if these can save. So 7-5's could save P -1, and they do well, but we've lost 2 in the end. And then the big shooters, they've taken a toll, and they've put 4 wounds on the guys behind the fence as well. So the 7-4s against these, and we've lost 4. Just getting pasted now. Okay, we're back over here to finish off the Orc turn. There's going to be some charges to be made. So the truck's going in first against the Scions. The Meganobs will be next to follow. And then the Storm Boys and Zagstruck are going to go down on this unit and probably just take them out. I think the Can, he's going in on the Scions. Yep, he's going in on the Scions. And the Orc Boys, they ran, so they can't go anywhere. So in the go, there's no stopping them. There's not a lot we can do against the truck. It's still got 8 wounds left, and it's going to just soak up the Scions. Overwatch shots against the Meganobs. Okay, so the Orcs have made all the charges, and it was just as we predicted. So the Can's gone in against the Lieutenant. The Meganobs are in. The truck led the way in, and then slightly different for the Storm Boys. The Storm Boys have piled in, or crowded around the Taurox Prime. Didn't take any casualties. No, it did. We'd killed 1 with an autocannon, and then Zagstruck takes a wound from the flamer going in on these 3 guardsmen. So it's a sour scene over here. It's gonna get bloody and pretty decisive. Okay, summarising that fight phase, how it all went down, it was pretty by the book. So, except this bit, Kilcan filled all of his hits, and the Lieutenant didn't do anything back to him. So just a stalemate over there. Not the case over here with the Meganobs. There's just 1 lowly Scion standing left, and he's probably going to fail his morale check. And then over here, Zagstruck wipes out those last 3 guardsmen, and then these take this Taurox down to 1 last wound. So it's still alive, the Taurox, but it's in combat, and it won't be doing much else with 1 wound left. And the Orcs are in the ascendancy. So we've had a look around, and we're both in agreement that this is just unwinnable for the Imperial Guard. We could send forces forward, but would be quickly and soundly beaten back. Just had 1 poor turn last turn, and it's really cost us when we needed it to happen. And the Orcs are just going to pile in now. There's so much stuff in the backfield ready to just come up, and it's all fairly quick. And all they need is just 1 unit into the deployment zone of the Imperial Guard to get a sound victory, but they'll still take a minor victory for having so much stuff in the centre. All we can do is the only survivors we've got is this Tower Rocks and this Lieutenant. They've got a lot of powerful units over here. Power rating is so high, there's nothing I can put into that deployment zone that's going to last. So it's better to just pull the forces out of Mortwald, out of this fringe. Hopefully we can make a better defence further back in the biodomes, but the orcs have broken through. So brave defence for the Imperial Guard is not enough to hold back the rampaging orcs, and the message goes out to the squabbling hierarchy of Vigilus that the first defence of Mortwald has buckled. The orcs are through the first hurdle. The Imperium know they can't do this alone. The Astropaths send out the message into the wider universe that the Astartes must reinforce Vigilus.